Now that we understand what graphic design actually is, which is visual communication with intention and purpose, the next step is to learn how designers think. Because design doesn't just start with tools, design actually starts with decisions. And those decisions are guided by principles. These principles are not rules you must obey in every case. They are more like lenses, which are small ways of seeing that helps you to create designs that feel organized, balanced, and professional. Let's go through the core ones. The first principle is alignment. Alignment is about how elements in a design line up. When things are aligned, the design feels organized and intentional. When they are not, even if someone can't explain it, they feel like something is off. Think about text on a page. If one line starts left, another starts right, and a third floats somewhere in the middle, the viewer has to work harder to understand the structure. Alignment removes that confusion. It creates order. It says to the viewer, here is how to read this. In Canva, alignment is one of the easiest wins you can get through guides, snapping tools, and templates that make it simple. The second principle is balance. Balance is about distributing visual weight. Every element in a design, such as text, images, shapes, colors, every element has weight to the design. Some things feel heavy, others feel light. Balance doesn't always mean symmetry. It means the design doesn't feel like it's about to tip over. For instance, a large image on the left can be balanced by bold typography on the right. Bright colors can be balanced with muted tones. Dense areas of content can be balanced with empty space. Balance makes a decision feel stable, calm, and composed. The third principle is hierarchy. Hierarchy is one of the most important ideas in design, especially for communication. It answers a very simple question, which is what should the viewer notice first, second, and third? If everything is shouting, nothing gets heard. Hierarchy creates order in attention. You can create hierarchy by using size. Another thing you can use in create hierarchy is the choice of color. Another element, what you can also use is boldness. Spacing, of course, we can't forget spacing in hierarchy, or placement. A headline should feel like a headline. Body text should feel like body text. A button should feel like something that is clickable. The viewer should not have to guess. The fourth principle is contrast. Contrast creates difference, and difference creates clarity. We use contrast to separate things that doesn't belong together and highlight things that do. Let me give an example. Light versus dark. Another example is large versus small. We can also talk about bold versus regular, or warm colors versus cool colors. Without contrast, a design becomes flat and hard to read. Contrast is also deeply tied to storytelling because contrast tells the viewer this is important or look here first. The fifth principle is white space. White space is one of the most misunderstood concepts in design. It doesn't mean empty space or wasted space. White space gives room for the design to breathe. If you've ever looked at a design and felt like everything was crammed or squeezed, that was a lack of white space. White space creates rhythm. It slows the viewer down. It gives clarity. And it communicates confidence because confident design doesn't rush to fill every inch. In Canva, white space is a major upgrade move. Beginners usually add more, designers usually remove more. The final principle for today is repetition. Repetition is about consistency. Using the same fonts, the same colors, the same button shapes, the same style of imagery, all of this builds recognition. Humans trust things they recognize. That is why branding relies on repetition, logos, colors, typography, message tone. Even in a single social carousel, repetition creates flow. From slide to slide, the design becomes one narrative instead of a collection of separate pieces. Here is the powerful thing about these principles. You don't need to master them perfectly. You just need to be aware of them. Once you start seeing them, you can start applying them. And once you start applying them in your designs, whether in Canva or elsewhere, your design immediately look more professional and more intentional. In this video, you've learned the key principles that guide how designers work, which are alignment, balance, hierarchy, contrast, white space, and repetition. These principles are universal. They apply whether you are creating a logo, a flyer, a report cover, or a YouTube thumbnail. In the next video, we are going to explore something more emotional, the color theory, and how color influences attention, mood, storytelling, and branding.